Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Show here. Now then, before I actually do begin, as many of you can see, this is my 2K special. I have been thinking of a good idea for this since I've actually seen quite a lot of versions of it. And it has been tricky. But before I do begin, I first off do want to say thank you to you guys who have actually stuck around my channel and have actually subscribed to me. I actually didn't really think I would ever make it to be very big. I remember saying that during my, 1K special, and that was only, what was it? I believe that was only 3 weeks before my 3rd month on YouTube. And with it about being April, that means I've been doing YouTube for about 5 months, I believe? Not even 5 months. Because I started on November 7th. So, with that being said, thank you guys, and, I do hope you enjoy this. Okay, I didn't take up too much time. Now, with that being said, let's begin. We will begin with Izuku Midoriya. For this, his quirk will be significantly different from canon, along with how I've seen people do standardized cremation quirks. Deku's body, it is not a ice quirk user's body. It will be made for a fire quirk, meaning that he can just reach the levels of high intense heat for cremation. However, the drawbacks will be lessened, but he can still go to cremation at very, very dangerous levels, meaning that will be the full extent of his power, being as that his body can push itself further than a normal quirk user's body. That is the only difference, however, along with 2 slight changes I've made to the story. Now, with that, Deku is born. He is born without his quirk, and things go similar to canon. Deku, he is, born quirkless, and eventually, whenever he is at the age of 4, he is diagnosed with a quirk that they can clearly tell is a intense version of heat. Deku's fire seems to be very, very intense, and the way he uses it at first seems to hurt his body. The doctors find this to be a bit odd, until they would have told Deku to calm down his fire, to which he would have done so, actually turning the flame to be red, which would astound them. This boy has a fire quirk, but it seems that its natural level might be at a prodigy's level. So this boy will be a born natural with his quirk, just like the number 2 hero. This is odd. The style of quirk I've seen before, but this is different, more difficult to understand. So, exactly who is this kid? Ma'am. Yes, doctor. Your son will have a great quirk. In fact, he is luckier than some of the people I've seen with quirks like his. His problem is that his body is trying to use his quirk at its full potential. So he needs to calm his body down, or tone down his fire usage. Make sure he stays at a low level, and be careful with using it. Last case I've seen with a quirk like this did not... The doctor is somewhat just looking away, saying it did not end well. The boy hurt himself severely, but it should be fine. Just please make sure about these warnings. Now, Deku, he would then go to school the next day. As people are showing off their quirks, Deku actually looking down at his hands. He has a version of his dad's quirk. He is really astounded by that. It's actually a lot better than his dad's. As people are showing off their quirks, Deku doing one thing. Whenever he was told about to show off his, he would have walked outside. People being a bit confused, as he would have thrown his hands up, creating giant fireballs in his hands, basically spraying around fire, as everyone is in shock. Some people actually cheering cheering Deku, as Katsuki's quirk, Kachan would show off his quirk. She would walk out and hold her hands up, popping sparks out of her hands, saying that she's got a powerful quirk too. To which a lot of people would not focus on her. Her getting angry, as she would have done one thing, walking directly over to Deku. She would go to pull on his shirt as Deku would have turned around, holding one of these fireballs in his hand, as she would bring her hand up, smacking it. As soon as she does that, these two would go flying away from each other. A large explosion occurring. The teachers being in shock, exactly what that was. They would run over to Deku and other people would run over to, Katsuki. They would find that Deku's quirk reacted negatively to her quirk. So that is at least good to know. These two, they are, I would believe, friends. So separating them is a necessity now. It will be needed to ensure that there are no accidents in school, since they've had to do this for quite a lot of other students before. Quirks that react weird to other people's, so it's somewhat normal to them. Now, with that being said, they would move seats. People actually commenting on Deku and how he did that. That was pretty cool, that was really intense, and that was really interesting. People going on more and more. As Katsuki, she is sitting in her desk, a bit mad and a bit angry, but still looking down at her hands, thinking that that was awesome. Now, what would happen is Deku would just say that that wasn't his quirk. That was hers. As he would look over, saying that he is not sure what her quirk was, but that was pretty awesome. Her holding up her hand, saying that her quirk is explosions. She is going to get very, very powerful one day. Just you watch. What's your name? Midoriya. The name's Izuku Midoriya. Now, Deku, he has showed his quirk at the low levels, as people just keep talking and actually commenting on this. Deku actually heading home. A lot of the teachers are concerned and do at least have reasons, since most of their quirks, they're good and strong, but Deku's is clearly the strongest one in the class. Along with that girl, somewhat seeming like she's trying to beat him, that's not good. So exactly how are they going to deal with her? She's going to be another problem. But they can deal with that after, or hopefully when it comes. Hopefully it doesn't. To which they would have been thoroughly let down, as the next day, these two are somewhat fighting and while talking. Katsuki, she is trying to bully someone who is quirkless, as Deku would have walked up. Him immediately stepping in front of her, telling her to back off. Just because someone is quirkless doesn't mean they're weak. What do you know about being weak? Your quirk is, what is my quirk? As Deku's hands would ignite, the fire somewhat turning blue. Deku saying that his quirk is strong, yes, but you don't know what it can do. This isn't even my strongest. Flame. Deku amping up the heat. The fireball covering his hand is huge, as Deku somewhat winces in pain. Katsuki and her goons would run off. Deku immediately putting out the flame and actually looking down at his hand. He has caused first to second degree burns, so he would get this looked at by the nurse, who would instruct him not to use his quirk like that. That was very, very dangerous. What were you even doing out there? Nothing, ma'am. It was just... I wanted to see how strong I could be. Kids today and their quirks. Jesus. If I didn't know people the same way, I would say that you were all crazy. Thanks, ma'am. But anyways, as Deku would continue talking with her, asking her some questions and, well, getting some answers. Deku going home, as he does not idolize All Might in this timeline. He actually idolizes a different hero. A flame hero. Yes, All Might's good and all, but he doesn't have a quirk like his. Deku actually focusing more on Endeavor. Endeavor is basically his idol. He sees that man as powerful. He sees him as a bit more stronger and more confident than All Might. All Might will just come in and take you down, but Endeavor, he has techniques. Ways he uses his quirk that give him power. So, that's good and all. Now, Deku, he would continue heading home. As he would have arrived. Katsuki, she is ready. She's amped up as she's basically banging on Deku's door. His mom would answer and she would be surprised, asking if she's one of Deku's friends. Her saying that she's here to see him and to actually try and take him down. He's going to be my biggest obstacle as a hero. As she would just throw these sparks up in the air. Inko somewhat trying to hold back her laughter, as Deku would have showed up. He would just say that if she's here to fight again, then she's gonna probably lose. Her getting more angry, as she just keeps wanting to try and fight Deku over and over and over again. He is so annoying. He acts so cocky and confident just because of his quirk. But what? I've never seen him train that thing. Not a day in his life. So why is it so powerful? Her actually saw him beginning to mutter, as Deku would have caught her attention. Hey, if we're gonna fight, then shouldn't we start now? Yeah. Anyways, just because you're so powerful doesn't mean I'm not gonna take you down. Okay. Well, I guess we should begin then. Deku immediately throwing out a flame, as she would have been in shock. Well, in shock, moving to actually get away from it. Her basically stepping out of the way. Deku somewhat just using as much as he can to actually move his hand. As soon as he moves it, he actually does have to turn it off for a second. That was quite a lot of fire for his body to produce at one time. So he just needs a minute, as she would try running in. As soon as she does so, she would have came in and threw an explosion at Deku. Deku immediately just being able to step backwards, since these are so small. This one, however, does actually get a bit closer to his face. That was a bit close. Deku immediately somewhat stepping forward. These two basically shoving each other and trying to take each other down. They are still children, so they do not have any form of fighting. Until eventually their moms would have to break it up. Inko coming outside to see Mitsuki, and Mitsuki actually coming outside to see Inko. Both of them being surprised that their kids are, well, at least somewhat getting along. If you can call this getting along. Now, that is whenever things would go a bit south. These two are actually talking a bit more. This being where Katsuki, she gets annoyed. Her just stating that she's going to be the #1 hero when she grows up. To which Deku would argue, saying that he's going to be the #1 hero. Endeavor's already the #2, so after All Might's gone, I can be the #1. As Inko would immediately tell Deku that he shouldn't think that way. That's not very nice. Deku is somewhat just saying that it doesn't have to be nice, right? Her getting annoyed, saying that she raised him better than this. If he's going to be like that, then he won't be able to use his quirk. But you can't tell me not to use my quirk. Baby, your quirk is dangerous. Listen. We already shouldn't be allowing you to use it at home, nor at school, the way you do, or I've heard at least. But your power is unique and dangerous. You just need to control it and train it more, okay? Yes, Mom. Deku's somewhat getting annoyed. As Katsuki, she would be told by Mitsuki that her quirk, it is gonna be good one day. If you're really looking to have a competition with him, then you gotta be careful. Her doing one thing, saying that this will be tricky, but watch. Her just holding up a rag. She would somewhat just run it over Katsuki's head as she holds up a match, saying that your sweat, it is like an explosive, remember? Her bringing down the match as part of this, well, rag explodes. It was quite a big explosion. Her just saying that, woof, that was a lot. Anyways, your quirk will be at that level one day, so you just gotta be careful, or at least train more? Not really sure how you can train sweating explosive material. As Katsuki, she would get excited, immediately jumping up, saying that if that's the case, then she declares war on you. Her pointing directly at Deku, saying that she'll win. Trust me. As Deku and Inko would leave, heading back home. Deku actually doing one thing, as he would open his hand, seeing exactly what's going on. The area in his palm seems to be a bit red, so he would just put an ice cube on it. The ice cube immediately just nearly melting. Deku finding out one of the drawbacks of his quirk. If he uses it at the degree that the doctor warned him about, then, well, things get weird and very, very bad. So, it'll heat up my body heat and the temperature inside me. Gotta make notes of this. Are there any other heroes like that? As Deku would begin to look on the internet, on his computer. Now, that is going to be where I leave this part off, guys. And, well, this is going to be an odd series. So, I do at least hope that you enjoy it. Because I am putting on off my Watch Dogs What If for this one. So after I get done with my 2K special, I have to go back to my April Fool's Day special. Then I have to go back to my Space Marines one, which, well, I do need to do research on, so this actually is not all that bad. So there's at least a light side to it. Anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed.